Karl Jobst has lost his defamation case to Billy Mitchell. And this situation is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how much you guys know about Karl Jobst, Billy Mitchell, the lawsuit that was happening, and everything between here and there. But basically, what ended up happening, just to give it the long and the short of it, is Karl Jobst is a YouTuber that typically focuses on speed running and sometimes glitches in games, and sometimes nefarious actors, bad actors in the community, like Gerard the Completionist or Billy Mitchell or, things like that. So he's kind of like a potpourri channel, but typically focusing on speedrunner, and he's a speedrunner himself. He got sued by Billy Mitchell for defamation. And there is a controversy brewing right now. And I'm going to try my best to give both sides of the story so that people understand the full context of everything. But this is not anywhere close to the situation of Alyssa Mercante suing me for defamation. So I want to be crystal clear about that for a couple of reasons. We'll get to that towards the end of my conversation about this, but I'm sure there are people like, oh my God, Karl Jobst lost to Billy Mitchell. That means Smash is going to lose to Alyssa. It's like, no. These are two very different animals. I can assure you of that. Doesn't mean I could lose still. I'm not saying I couldn't, but these are two very different animals. In a recent court decision in Queensland, Australia, Billy Mitchell won a defamation lawsuit against Karl Jobst. The court ordered Jobst to pay Mitchell $350,000 in damages. Batman says, if your lawsuit was in Australia, they would side with Alyssa. Yes, that is actually one of the reasons why I was saying it's very different. Australia is a complete shit show when it comes to politics. Don't know if that's news to anyone, but yikes, Australia. Get your shit together over there. Holy crap. The case stemmed from claims made by Jobst regarding Mitchell's involvement in the suicide of Apollo legend, a fellow gamer. The decision was streamed live on YouTube, allowing the public to watch the verdict in real time. And we have Karl Jobst here saying, I lost. The judge found Billy to be credible witness and believed his entire testimony. From the point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me. I will now obviously consider my options. I would hope that he, what do you call it? Not counters, but appeals. There we go. I would hope that he appeals. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I'm sorry for that. Thank you again for all the support I've received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay all that you are owed. Which I don't understand that last part, because I don't think people who donated money to his lawsuit fund are owed money back. That's kind of a weird, I don't know if I understand that correctly. But for those that don't understand or know, Karl Jobst had a similar situation where he got sued by Billy Mitchell and basically crowdfunded a defense similar to what I did when I got sued by Alyssa Mercante. And he had a tremendous amount of support from the community. I don't know how much it ended up being. Maybe somebody in the chat does, and you could let me know. But it was a roaring support from what I recall. Even on day one, there was an incredible support backing him. But that isn't the real issue here, because there is some fallout happening behind the scenes. But before we get to the fallout, let's get to the court decision here. Here you go. This is John Campbell said, Karl Jobst lost because he called Billy a murderer with no evidence that cheating was background context, and then tried to mislead everybody about what the case was about. You fucked up, Karl, big time. So the narrative right now is the community, especially on Reddit, you know how Reddit can be. There's a growing sentiment right now that Karl Jobst lied to everyone, that he was the creator that tried to portray the lawsuit of Billy was suing him because Karl called him a cheater. And the lawsuit was not really about that at all. The lawsuit really was about Billy was suing Karl because Karl claimed that Billy killed Apollo Legend or forced Apollo Legend to commit offing himself. And that was actually the truth, by the way. That is what the lawsuit was. And I will be honest, as a viewer of Karl Jobst, my impression was not that. My impression was that Billy was suing him because of the cheating stuff. That was the impression that Karl gave to me. And if that's the case, clearly that was other people as well. And now there is some backlash in the community going at Karl, being like, whoa, you lost. This was basically a shoe-in win based off of your videos telling us what the court case was. How could they not see it your way? And then people listen to the judge and they're like, oh, they are claiming that Billy Mitchell should win because Karl Jobst knowingly lied in his videos after he was told the truth from, of all people, Keemstar. Because apparently Keemstar is good friends with Billy Mitchell, and Keemstar is also good friends with Karl Jobst. So Keemstar was trying to be the middleman to have them reach some sort of middle ground to be like, hey guys, like, let's not sue each other over this. Let's, hope cooler heads can prevail. And from what I understand, and we'll get into this, but from what I understand, Billy Mitchell told Keem, like, hey, tell him to stop telling his audience that I caused Apollo Legend to off himself when I did not. And here's the proof of that. And Keemstar took the proof, saw the proof, showed the proof to Karl. And Karl was like, okay, gotcha. And still published the video anyways. And that is where he went wrong, according to the courts, if I understand this all correctly. This is a very loaded situation, and I did my best research I could before the stream to get all this together for you guys, because this was a lot of work. But here's this. Here we go.
Use a fraudulent video. Use a fraudulent video.
Okay, so kind of, he used a fraudulent video.
To be clear, I was not required to decide, nor did I decide, whether Mr. Mitchell had in fact cheated in gaining any of his world record scores. Mr. Jobst did not attempt to prove that that finding by Twin Galaxies was correct. Notwithstanding these findings, I have concluded that the defamatory imputations made by Mr. Jobst that are the subject of Mr. Mitchell's claim have caused substantial additional damage to Mr. Mitchell's reputation and have caused him considerable additional distress. Therefore, Mr. Jobst is liable to pay damages to Mr. Mitchell for those defamatory imputations. I shall come shortly to the amount of those damages. Mr. Mitchell also asserted that Mr. Jobst's conduct in publishing the video and after use a fraudulent...
Okay, so that's part of it. What he ended up saying, which we'll get into in a second, is that $350,000, not dollary dues, but as far as I understand, USD, $350,000. So, I mean, we're getting close to between $250,000 and $500,000, right smack in the middle of that, pretty much. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for putting a video out there saying that this guy caused a guy to off himself. I feel like that's kind of high, but again, take that into account that it is Australia, and yikes, Australia. So going over to everyone's favorite Reddit, Billy Mitchell wins lawsuit against YouTuber Karl Jobst, ordered to pay $350,000 in damages. Court case was based on Karl's accusation that Billy Mitchell's legal actions led to the offing of fellow YouTuber Apollo Legend. The judge ruled in Mitchell's favor. And this guy said, oh, I thought it was on Billy Mitchell being a cheater, which if you were watching Karl's videos, you might likely get that same thought process, because that's kind of the same thought process I had. And maybe as a viewer, maybe that's on me. Maybe I misinterpreted what Karl was saying, but that was my perception of coming. Just like say with my lawsuit with Alyssa, say that I lose the lawsuit and it comes out that it's like a completely different thing that I wasn't even talking about. I think people would be justified and be like, Smash, you said she was suing you for defamation, and it ended up being like, or stochastic terrorism or something. And it ended up being like you stole her car or something. Like two things that have nothing to do with each other, and something that I've never talked about at all. And I made the whole focus on something else. Yeah, I think people would be pretty pissed at me for that, which is kind of what's happening right now with the backlash with Karl in the community. Alter Force says, yeah, it seems that was a false claim that Karl repeatedly told people when the main focus was on the settlement with Apollo Legend. And Coolman Rosso said that was the explanation he provided when crowdfunding his legal expenses, if I recall correctly. So that's not a good look. And Demon Lord Diablo says, great idea to piss off the fans who are so dedicated that they'd give money to you. So, yeah, it's not a great look. It's not a great look. And I see people in the chat saying Keem screwed him. I mean, roundabout, yes, but no. Like, because Keem was trying to be the middleman, and the court found through evidence, I didn't research how, but this is what their claim is. And they even straight up named Keemstar in the ruling, by the way, where they're like, Karl knew about this based off of this information from Keemstar. And he still moved forward publishing the video. And from what I understand, left the video up for over 6 months. And apparently the judge feels that that was worth $350,000. Yikes. Here's the thing with Billy Mitchell, by the way. It's so hard to prove defamation. It's so hard. And Billy Mitchell is basically everyone's favorite bad guy. He just is. Even before Karl Jobst, he was just like, even in King of Kong, he literally played the role of like the lovable bad guy. It's just the impression he's always given off to people, in my humble opinion. So it's weird to me that he wins a defamation suit when I don't know what fame he lost in it. And I don't know how you prove a financial loss on this. It's interesting. Brad DL says Billy likely showed loss of income. Likely, yes, but Billy could have just like not worked as hard and made it look like less money. Or maybe the economy changed and had nothing to do with Karl Jobst and it looked like less money, but it would have happened either way. It's hard to prove. It's so hard to prove this stuff. But anyways, checking on over on Nicholas DeOrio, who I was watching earlier today, and he was actually talking with Keemstar on his live stream. And I apologize in advance for his character in the bottom because it is super annoying. It does not stop moving. It's like Fritanga, except less movement. So we're going to do our best with this, but here we go.
Found out on stream, if you go back
Oh, hold on. It's really loud. All right.
and look at the clip, I think it's on Commentary Aids. We found out about this years ago. Me, Bo Blacks, and Augie were live. Tipster found out. It started a whole controversy. That's just kind of the commentary community's thing here. Karl Jobst made a video insinuating that Billy Mitchell was part of the reason it happened. And that basis was off the fact that Billy had sued Apollo Legend. But Billy fucking swung back essentially by saying, hey, listen, he didn't have to pay me like anything. And we actually like reconciled prior to his death.
Let's block with my camera.
So I think if I remember correctly, I might be wrong on this. Please don't sue me. I think it was either cut from the video or I know it was the catalyst for why Billy came after Karl as hard as he did. But yeah, that the Apollo Legend stuff has like a significant shadow looming over this court case.
Assert that the settlement had a negative financial impact on Apollo Legend, and that he still believes that the settlement was a contributing factor to his decision to commit suicide. Mr. Jobst was also reckless and vindictive in publishing the full video twice.
There we go.
At the time he republished it, he had been told by Mr. Mitchell via his response video, by their mutual acquaintance Keemstar, and by Mr. Mitchell's lawyers that what he had said about the payment.
You have literally the judge naming Keemstar, which is crazy. Yes, it's the James Bond theme. That's playing on Deorio's stream.
Was not
It's pretty badass. I do like that.
True. He told Keemstar that he would not republish that part of the video unless he received concrete evidence that it was true. But by the time he republished it, he had not heard from Apollo Legend's brother, whom he had asked for information about the settlement, so he did not know any more than he had earlier. But he nevertheless decided to republish the entire video regardless.
What's the name of the guy?
In his
Keemstar
evidence, he said that he did this because he thought Mr. Mitchell would sue him anyway. His attitude appears to have been, well, if I'm going to be sued, I may as well go for broke and damn the consequences. It was
the judge is saying basically like Karl knew that he was going to be sued and was like, well, fuck him. I'm going to do it. I don't care about what happens. I'm going to move forward with this video.
reckless and showed an absolute disregard for the truth or for the effect of his video.
I'm losing my mind right now. Dude,
It's crazy.
Keemstar going
So Deorio calls Keemstar on the stream today.
out and
I thought
reaching
so.
out to Billy and telling him is like part of the deciding factor in the court case as to whether Billy owes as to whether Karl owes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Holy shit, no way, dude.
This
That's
is wild.
fucking crazy.
Mr. Mitchell and his reputation. On
What's the
29
name
July
of the guy?
2021,
Keemstar Orbiter.
that is about
Nick
6
I can't stand. He has the money donation. Anytime someone donates money, it like talks for like a solid 10 seconds over this. Like, bro, I hope like people need to stop doing that. Like, if you wanted to make like a noise, okay, but like, it's so obnoxious.
weeks after he
Mr.
finally
Oreo.
edited the video and took out the offending passage.
Yeah, so he did
Mr.
remove
Jobs
it.
published a video in which he retracted his statement that Apollo Legend had paid Mr. Mitchell money, and he apologized to his viewers for having given them incorrect information. At the trial, he relied on that video as being evidence of his bona fides.
No, it's not.
And
It's
it-
not text to speech donations, guys. It's just anytime someone donates to him, it plays this audio track of someone talking about Nicholas DeOrio, and it lasts for like 7 or 10 seconds of just someone in the same line every time. I'm like, bro, come on.
as reducing any harm caused to Mr. Mitchell by his original video. However, that video did not retract the imputations at all.
Yo, can I put you on stream for a second real quick? Okay.
So
Have
this
you
is-
seen the
So he literally called Keemstar on this. So we get this is Keemstar has no idea about any of this. This is great.
Karl Jobst court ruling?
Yeah, Billy Mitchell won $395,000.
Did you see how that was did you see the actual decision why he came to that like thing?
No. I'm Snapchatter.
You got named.
Dude, you need to turn off the text to speech for these streams, man. This is one where you can't have it on. You have way too much shit going on for text to speech right now.
Karl Jobst.
What?
You
I
got
have missed the
named by
law.
the
I
judge
just-
in the ruling
For what?
because you told Karl that fucking Apollo Legend didn't have to pay, and then Karl published the video anyway.
Oh.
So he's like Daniel Keemstar.
Keemstar. Oh. Like Keemstar just realized he's like, oh fuck. That's a classic. Oh.
Like Keemstar had contacted Karl Jobst directly. We're watching this now on stream. You are like intrinsic to this result.
Well, yeah, because I'm friends with Carl and I'm friends with Billy Mitchell. And if you ever watch one of those documentaries on YouTube, Keemstar is always the side character that pops up. And so, you know, I reached out to Carl and I said, hey, I was talking to Billy and, you know, this certain thing is wrong in your video. And then Carl told me, oh, okay, he's going to correct it or something. And then I guess he didn't correct it.
That was the problem. Is apparently the judge ruled that Keemstar contacting Carl was enough to verify that he knew it was wrong and still left it up there for 6+ months.
He eventually did take it out, but they're saying it was 6 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in other news, I actually have come into possession of a signed Beckett CGC graded Billy Mitchell autograph, and I'm selling it for the small payment of $100,000. Would you be interested in the bid?
No, I'll just get one and have him sign it for me.
Asian Swordmaster said, so Keemstar basically screwed Carl? I mean, that's what people keep asking. It's like, well, yes and no, like not on purpose, but it's almost like Carl screwed Carl. And if you want to blame Keemstar for that, then I guess, because if Keemstar like never contacted Carl or never existed and Carl never knew about it or didn't have a connection to it, then yeah, I guess Carl would have been able to get off without this being the ruling. But again, it's Australia, and I would look at this like, well, maybe they'd find something else, because this is just such a weird link for that. And secondly, it just seems excessive for defamation. $350,000 is a shit ton of money. That's a shit ton of money. And I would imagine it does not hold up in appeals. I would imagine it will be substantially lowered. I sure as hell hope, because yikes.
All right, thank you,
But
Keem.
that's crazy. I had no idea that I was even mentioned in it.
Dude, we're watching right now. I just lost my mind.
Batman says, in before Carl sues Keem.
Because he just keeps fucking bringing your name up.
Because I was like, you know, like what I always do behind the scenes. When there's a beef and I know both parties, I try to like, you know, fix it for everyone involved. So that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Holy shit. This is insane. I imagine he's going to appeal this, but what the fuck?
I was shocked because right before you called me, I was trying to get more information on it, and I was started watching the proceedings, and I noticed it was in Australia. I thought this was like a lawsuit in an American
Billy
court.
went to fucking Australia.
Think about that too. Billy sued Carl in Australia. Billy in America flew to Australia courts to sue the YouTuber in Australia and won. Like, the odds of that happening are insane, especially considering the surrounding circumstances, where I don't know if there's enough there. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those, if I was a lawyer, which this is probably why I'm not one, full disclosure. But if I was a lawyer, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if this is really enough to justify the risk of spending all this money and taking on this challenge. But have at it, Haas, if you want to pay me.
And won.
That's crazy, bro.
This guy went to
All I know
Kangaroo Town
is-
and came home with fucking $400,000.
I knew it wasn't a smart idea for everyone to just start fucking bashing Billy Mitchell.
I don't want to say anything bad about him. To be honest, I think that he's the winningest champion ever, and I have no bad things to say about Billy Mitchell. As you've heard, he's coming.
Which is exactly what Billy Mitchell wants, by the way. It's just to everyone to praise him all the time. And he's going to threaten to sue anyone that dares say anything other than that, which is hysterical and scary. Because, like, I have videos that are critical of Billy. Like, should I take those videos down now? Like, holy shit. What is he gonna find something that I said from like 2 years ago and come at me now?
I'm into a lot of money recently. I don't know if I want to say anything.
This has always been my opinion on Billy Mitchell. When it comes to the cheating stuff, I don't care. I don't care if he's guilty, if he's innocent. None of that stuff matters to me. I just like him as a person and his character. He's like the best bad guy ever.
Right?
I love it.
Do you know how much money he has to sue everybody else now?
Which, by the way, like that's another concern. Is this empowers someone like him? This would be the same thing as like if Alyssa were to defeat me, and everyone's thinking this, by the way, and she wins, and the court grants her even more money than she was asking for. Holy shit! Not just her, but her lawyers would be on a war path. Like that would be opening the fucking floodgates to this shit. That's a very scary proposition. That should scare everybody. I don't care how in the bag you think I have it. It's still concerning to think of what happens if. What if there's an activist judge? What if there's something I didn't think of, or an angle that she takes that the judge sees one way that everyone else sees a different way? Like, there's so many variables that concern me with it, which is why I'm just like, one, I'm not going to settle with her because I do not feel like that is something that I should be doing, because I genuinely feel in my heart of hearts, I did nothing wrong. So why should I have to settle? If anything, she should be paying me and lose in a slap case, in my humble opinion. That's how I think this is a very ridiculous case she's thrown at me. But then I hear this and I'm just like, well, shit, who knows what the judge is going to say? But again, I go back to what I said at the beginning of this. It's apples and oranges, or kangaroos and dogs. I don't know, whatever the Australian equivalent is.
Gonna keep suing.
$395,000.
He's gonna keep suing.
He's 100% going to keep suing. He's 100%.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of Billy Mitchell deleted videos today.
I would be shitting myself.
I honestly,
Oh my-
like, I'm not even joking. I should probably private my Billy Mitchell videos. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. And I didn't know if they're that bad. I literally made them like 2 years ago. I only made like 4 of them. And they were basically just covering the Karl Jobst stuff from the Karl Jobst angle. Because I thought, oh, this is what he's suing him on. Let me dive deeper into the cheating scandal stuff. Because that's what I thought he was getting sued for.
You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do? You need to figure out how many Billy Mitchell's videos there are on YouTube, and like see if any of them got deleted.
Yes. Well, yes, do a Billy Mitchell video count. Although people are going to start making a shit ton of Billy Mitchell videos because of this now too. So that might actually even it off. People will just be covering the lawsuit. He's not going to sue people for that. Right?
So it's not about the cheating stuff. I don't think he wins on the cheating stuff. Even the judge says he thinks the cheating stuff is real. It's because
oh, okay. If that's the case, then I should be fine, because that's literally all I covered. But again, is it even worth? Like, it's stuff like this, guys. It's stuff like this. When you're like, oh, he's grifting. He's asking for donations. It's like, shit, do you know how much risk it is to do this shit for fucking peanuts some nights? It's a very dangerous sport. I'm telling you guys, this is not for the faint of heart. I would not recommend this career for literally anyone. Okay, you gotta really, you gotta have a fucking death wish when you do this shit. It's
a legend comment. Billy said that. I'm sorry, Billy. Karl said that Billy was partially responsible for Apollo Legend's death because of a large sum of money being exchanged from the lawsuit, which supposedly did not happen. It is really hard to argue that.
Yeah, I don't remember all the details, but I remember going to Karl being like, dude, I don't think this part's right. You should just take that out, you know? And then
oh my God, we got Keem admitting it again, telling Karl. Yikes. That's not great. That's not great. That's not great. But then again, here's the angle that I could take if I was Karl. I'd be like, people tell me things all the time. Why should I believe Keemstar over anybody else? What makes Keemstar right about stuff? Just because Billy Mitchell told him something? Now I need to believe that is gospel? So, like, from Carl's perspective, just trying to play both sides of this, like there is a case to be made. Be like, as a content creator, by the way, I get told a million things every day from a million different people. So if I don't listen to one specific person on that specific day, then I can be sued and lose $350,000 if I don't listen to the right person at the right time and I don't do the right thing right away. Like it's a lot of pressure. It had to be something really obvious. It had to be. And Karl had to know, and they had to have him dead to rights. There had to be no question about any of it, because that's a lot of money to be like, we think he knew. Like,
that's the whole case. It's little to do with the cheating. It's almost all Apollo Legend based off of what we've seen.
It's
so
all
far.
Apollo Legend.
Here's the thing,
which is crazy. When you go back to watch the Karl Jobst videos, he might spend like a minute on the Apollo Legend stuff, maybe 2 minutes in like a 25-minute video. Sometimes some videos he won't even mention Apollo Legend. He'll just talk about the cheating stuff and what he's being sued about and showing all the why Billy's wrong and how this is going to be used in the court case. None of that even mattered. Like that wasn't even what they were suing him about. So what are we doing? I can see why people were frustrated with Karl if they thought that they were being misled.
Remember my conversations with Karl, and Karl was like, well, yeah, I want to be accurate in my reporting. I'll fix it. And I thought he did, but I guess not.
Well,
I mean, they have Karl confirming, okay, I want to be accurate. And then Keem saying, I thought he fixed it. And then it's like, well, no, he didn't.
Judge says he published it twice with the misinformation and then cut it out. So I don't know.
Anyhow, congratulations on your stream success. You know, I'm always looking at Locale Live to see where we are in the fucking playboard, competing with everyone. And I see you every once in a while. I'm like, how the fuck is relevant fat penguin nerd appearing on the fucking charts?
Dude, well, congratulations on the domestic violence incident that's going to fuel that stream for the next 8 months.
Dude, I mean, it's insane.
That
We
Wings
gotta
of
get more
Redemption.
people up there. Today, I told Boogie that EDP 445 was replaced in Wings, and I think he almost had a heart attack.
Guys, listen, hasn't EDP been through enough? I think the best place for him to be is subjected to Lolcow Live, right? Is that your pitch?
Exactly. I mean, this guy's just misunderstood. He should be able to monetize all the people calling him a pedophile, right?
Where's the conviction? Oh, dude, that would be the worst arc you guys could run. Holy
Did
shit.
you see he's viral again? Like,
They're talking about other stuff right now. Let me skip ahead. Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's like I was just sitting there like I don't understand. You see,
They're both
and you're looking at that.
okay.
Hold on. Let me fast forward a little bit here. Oh.
Okay, so how many pages does she have again? Remind me.
All right, it's 750. But it's
They're talking about other stuff. Hold on.
like your apology wasn't good enough. Is
Here we
what the
go.
judge.
Here we go. He's back to actually talking about it.
Rather, it's simply
Dude.
Fuck bricks. Like, let's
There we
get
go.
some money, baby. Come on, let's go.
Peace out.
All right, see ya.
Holy shit, dude. What the fuck, bro? All right, let's keep going with this. This is fucking crazy. This is an insane night.
This
for
is
YouTube.
nuts.
all. It's simply
This is, by the way, this is going to be like all over YouTube tomorrow, guys. Like everyone's going to be talking about this tomorrow. This is a very big story.
statement that Apollo Legend had paid Mr. Mitchell a large sum of money. Mr. Jobst did not apologise to Mr. Mitchell in any way, rather apologising to his viewers for having made an incorrect statement in the offending video.
The apology is being like, your apology wasn't good enough, is what the judge is saying.
That's crazy, by the way. Your apology isn't good enough. Now pay the man $350,000 because the apology wasn't good enough. That's some bullshit. That shouldn't matter at all. Like, that's on the judge. That's on the judge. Like, what the hell are we doing here? The apology? What's an apology have to do with defamation? Come on.
It's crazy.
Also, this retraction video was, in total, a little over 30 minutes long. For the first 28 minutes and 24 seconds, it had nothing to do with arcade gaming, cheating, or Mr. Mitchell. but was about a particular type of speed running. It then went blank for a few seconds before it returned with Mr. Jobs' alleged retraction statement, which itself lasted only about 45 seconds.
You know what this sounds like? Do you guys remember when Mr. T Lexify posted a regular video and then addressed his ex-girlfriend in the last 3 seconds of the fucking... That's what it sounds like. Holy
Even then,
shit.
He wrongly said that Mr. Mitchell had not tried to contact him to clear up the error, and he insinuated that he still believed Mr. Mitchell was responsible for Apollo Legends' decision. Finally, Mr. Jobs' conduct of this litigation, together with his additional online comments about it, were aggravating features of his conduct. He seems to see himself in defending this claim as a crusader against Mr. Mitchell. He is the last of the defendants who have been sued by Mr. Mitchell, and the only one, apart from Mr. Race, who has not backed down. Even in February 2024, as this action was progressing toward trial.
Guys, I gotta be honest. It sounds like this judge is not being fair. I gotta be honest. Like, I'm just listening to the way the judge is talking and what he's saying about Karl. I'm like, it sounds pretty aggressive. Like, sure, Karl may have fucked up, but let's be honest here. So did Billy. Like, the way the judge is framing this, it's like making Billy out to be like a saint here. It's very strange. It's very strange. Ninetails says the judge isn't being fair at all. It sounds like Billy paid him. Like, legitimately, that's how it appears to me, like listening to this.
He said in an online interview, quote, "Billy Mitchell needs to be destroyed in court. These people need to be punished in a big way before they stop. They need to get taught a lesson. So I am now the last chance. I am the last chance the public
Holy
has
shit,
to
this sounds
Billy."
horrible the way he's
And also-
reading that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this sounds like good, but the way the judge is saying it is like nefarious. I'm like, it's wild, the angle. Like, the way I'm hearing this makes me wonder what's going on behind the scenes with this judge. Like, who got to him type thing. Because there's something fishy here, guys. I'm telling you, this doesn't sound right.
The last person
This
on
is a
YouTube
brutal
you want to lose
read.
to is me.
It is.
There's going to be 100 vids rubbing it in. I will never let Billy forget this, assuming I win. I've got to win first, but man, if I win, oh boy, I'm not going to be a good winner.
Oh my god.
Mr. Jobs.
Dude, this is the you ever watch the Bill Burr thing where he's like, it depends on the read you get in court, where it's like the girl could be like, no, stop it. You need to stop it. And then the judge reads it, no, stop it. You need to stop it. It's like we're getting that read right now.
That is a perfect simile. That's 100% perfect comparison.
This is fucking insane.
Clearly intended to be the knight who slew the Mitchell dragon. Unfortunately for him, his lance was not as strong as he believed it to be, and it had...
Oh my God. Darksis says, Alyssa, stop. The judge, stop.
was broken in the contest.
What?
I have found that all of this conduct has caused Mr. Mitchell additional personal harm and additional harm to his reputation. It was severely aggravating conduct.
Guys,
that merits...
I got to be honest. I'm so glad I live in the USA. Holy shit. What is happening in Australia right now? What my heart goes out to you guys in Australia living in a country with this kind of approach. Cause whoa, again, I'm not saying Karl is innocent here. In fact, like the deception that it appears that Karl presented to the viewers is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But like, this is like egregious the way that the judge is going at him. It's like the judge is trying to teach Karl a lesson. It's very strange.
An award of aggravated damages. Again, I will come shortly to the amount of aggravated damages that I will award. I was asked by each party to make adverse findings about the truthfulness of the other party's witnesses and the reliability or otherwise of their evidence. In my full reasons, I have given detailed consideration to those submissions. I don't propose to reprise that discussion and my conclusions now.
This is the judge. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, he finally turned off the text.
I can't believe they're playing his
Good.
background music in court while they deliver this.
Having made these findings,
Wait, I thought DeOrio was playing the background music. The court was playing the GoldenEye music? Wait, what? I'm so confused now. I'm Batman says get Ron Coleman and defend Carl and countersuit in the US. I don't think that's how it works, but but yes.
I consider that Mr. Mitchell is entitled to an award of damages against Mr. Jobst.
Oh my God.
I have considered other comparisons.
Ninetail says this is not a professional judge or court then. I'm so confused. This has to be like a closed circuit from Karl Jobst replaying it with his music. There's no court would do this. It doesn't make any sense.
Of cases in order to help me to decide the appropriate amount. Under the Defamation Act of Queensland, the maximum amount of damages for non-economic loss.
I'm telling you guys, this is Australia sending a message that we own you and you do not have free speech here. That's all this is. That's 100,000,000% what this is. And this is just trying to reinforce that with the community, make a gigantic ruling, and make everyone in the community be like, shit, we can't speak up or say anything because we're fucked if we do. Yikes, Australia. Yikes.
Damages, not including any aggravated damages, is currently
95%. Right?
$478,500. That amount can only be awarded in the most serious case. In addition, though, in appropriate cases, additional aggravated damages can be awarded, and there is no statutory limit on aggravated damages. Mr. Jobst contended that for a number of reasons, any damages I award should be minimal or at least reduced due to two mitigating factors. One of those factors was that he published the so-called retraction video. For the reasons I've already mentioned about that video, I do not consider that it had any mitigatory effect.
Holy shit, dude. This is why, bro, everyone who turns around and goes, hey, why are you publishing videos explaining your legal arguments to your YouTube audience? Well, it's because I need to make money to fund the lawsuit. But dude, this guy watched the videos. This is fucking crazy, dude. This is insane.
Rather, publishing the retraction at the...
Well, to be fair, if that is the case, which I do not recall, but if Jobst did post a retraction video and it was a half an hour long and the actual like apology retraction was the last like 35 seconds of the 30-minute video, that's I don't blame the judge for saying that doesn't count. I mean, I'm more like, why do we need an apology? When did this whole thing come in? Like, oh, apologies make me feel better about it. How does that help with defamation?
The time and in the manner he did was an aggravating feature of his conduct. He did not publish it in a way that would draw it to the attention of the original audience, but instead essentially hid it from view. And of course, he did not retract any of the imputations against Mr. Mitchell, nor apologize to him. The second reason he gave for mitigation...
Maybe he didn't feel like he was wrong. Did the judge consider that?
Mitigation of damages was that Mr. Mitchell, he said, has contributed substantially to the harm he has suffered because he put the offending part of Mr. Jobs' video into his response video, saying, quote, "For those of you who haven't seen it, here's the clip," end quote. Mr. Mitchell's video showing that clip has remained online ever since. It has been downloaded at least 155,000 times.
Wait,
How
downloaded?
did he get that?
Downloaded or viewed? Does this judge not understand terminology? How the hell did he get that number?
Number.
As I say in my reasons, this submission
Does
might
that mean
be
by
described
videos?
as
Like
suggesting
I think he means views, and he said downloaded, which no.
that Mr. Mitchell called in an airstrike on his own position. I disagree. both by
Oh,
making the response
God!
video and by bringing this proceeding against Mr. Jobst. Far from calling in an airstrike on his own position, it was necessary for Mr. Mitchell and reasonable for Mr. Mitchell to identify the enemy's position clearly in order to call in
Bro,
an
he's
airstrike
using
on
his
it.
own fucking words.
That is what he has done. He made clear in his response video that he
This is
denied the
crazy.
imputations made by Mr. Jobst and that what Mr. Jobst had said was false. His conduct in publishing this video was reasonable and it does not justify any reduction in the amount of damages.
Yikes.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Factors particularly relevant in determining...
Dude, this is fucking crazy. Dude, the judge is literally like going off of the shit that Karl says in his videos and structuring like witty rebuttals. Like that is insane.
Well,
the
it's
appropriate
almost
amount of damages.
it's almost like the judge has a vendetta against Karl right now, which is wild. Because it's almost like the judge needs to stay in his fucking lane. Like the judge is veering into Karl's videos. It's like, no. Focus on the court case and the actual suit and litigation at hand right now. Veering into how Karl handled his apologies and stuff like that is really strange. It feels kind of a little bit out of bounds. Again, I'm no lawyer, but like talk about the actual if Karl was wrong talk about the accusations Karl made about Billy Mitchell and Apollo Legend and that stuff. But this is veering a lot into the likes, dislikes, views, videos. Like what?
Include the number and seriousness of the defamatory imputations.
Luke C says literal kangaroo court. I love it. Petty bullshit is weird in a court session. Exactly.
The extent of their publication, the effects they have had on the plaintiff personally and on his reputation, and what is known as the grapevine effect.
That's so crazy.
The grapevine effect is the likelihood that the defamatory imputations have been and will be repeated to other people over time, and they may even surface again after.
Objection! Conjecture, Your Honor. You don't know that. How can you assume that these things will be repeated in the future? You don't know that. Prove it. I want this judge's receipts for that. What?
To this judgment. The grapevine effect arises particularly in cases of defamatory imputations made on social media or other internet sites.
Who the fuck just said the raped vine effect? Fuck off.
Including YouTube.
He got raped.
In this case, there is ample evidence
This guy's gonna be like, he got SA'd.
of the extent of the grapevine effect. It has been very extensive.
I hate to say it, all right? I gotta be honest with you. I really fucking hate to say it. But like, the judge is delivering what I didn't want to hear in the funniest way I've ever heard it. Like, I legitimately disagree with a lot of, like, I disagree with, like, the concept. I don't even know. He's making sound arguments. Oh, man. I wanted Karl to win, and now I'm sad. But the judge is really funny. That's what I'm trying to say. The judge is extremely funny in this video.
I disagree. I don't think the judge is funny. It feels like the judge is bought and paid for. Just saying. It feels like there's some shenanigans going on. I'm not saying, by the way, that Karl should be winning and innocent. I don't mean that at all. Just the way the judge is going over the top with this is just curious. That's all.
The evidence is the number of comments on Mr. Jobs' video.
He cannot control the amount of views and comments that come through, Mr. Judge. You need to talk to YouTube about how that works. What the hell?
And also comments made on another online personality's videos about Mr. Mitchell,
Oh,
which
no.
even recently included assertions that Mr. Mitchell had caused or contributed to Apollo Legend's suicide.
So now Karl is being blamed for other videos. This is the problem with, when do you know your channel has gotten to a point where what you say impacts what other people talk about? When does that point happen? Like, that needs to be rigidly defined. Is it 500 subscribers? Is it 10,000 subscribers? Is it 50,000, 75? Is it past 100,000? Is it 500,000? Is it 1 million subscribers? When does your word as a creator become the influencer that makes other people say similar things? Because I can tell you guys from personal experience, for a very long time on this channel, me saying stuff did not impact anyone saying anything. So if a court was like telling me, oh, what you said there made other people say that, I'd be like, how do you know that? How do you know what I said made other people say something? Like, how can you even prove that? It's so ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. The Apollo Legend thing is pretty like, it seems pretty open and shut. That's like that's the crux of what we're dealing with.
And by the way, just I'm glad Nicholas brought it back to that. That's what this is all going to come back to. And Karl is going to need to answer for that, because that's really on him. And if he really knew that's what the case was about, which I sure as shit hope that's what he knew, that means he was being incredibly disingenuous with the audience. That means he was going out of his way to win the court of public opinion, to make him feel all warm and fuzzy that he's right. And this judge is like, no, fuck you. What you did doesn't matter because here's why you lost, which is fair if that's the case. My concern is that people are going to start looking at this situation and then come over to me and be like, oh, Smash is doing the same thing with Alyssa. It's like, no, I'm not. Like, literally, you guys saw the case that she threw at me. Read through it if you want. I've been very transparent with that. Fuck if I know what she's even suing me for, to be honest. Throw a dart and pick it. Like, at least with Karl and Billy Mitchell, it sounds like there was a very definitive thing that Billy Mitchell was very upset about, that Karl was pushing, knowing wrongly, and then not willing to back down from it. And it sounds like this judge is very pissed at Karl for that. And it's just wild to me. It's just wild. Oh, what a case this is. What a case.
Here, this has been sold to us as like a Billy Mitchell the cheater is coming after me thing.
100%. That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was too. And that's not what this judge is saying it was. And again, we go back to what Karl said here, just to remind you guys. I showed this earlier, but I lost. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. From that point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me. I will now obviously consider my options. This is a very carefully worded statement by Karl to not mention Apollo Legend and to not accept blame for misleading his audience. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I am sorry for that. Thank you again for the support I've received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay you all that you are owed. I can see why there's going to be some backlash against Karl. I can see why that is. I can see why that is. And again, like, I've chatted with Karl before. I've worked with him before on Gerard the Completionist videos. He's been very kind to me, very nice to me. I have nothing but good things to say about the guy. But damn, bro, like, if you knew that this is what the case was about and you were making your videos about cheating the whole time and why he's wrong, and then doing a GoFundMe telling people that that's what you were defending yourself for when it wasn't, that's not a great look. I don't know. I'm trying my best to be fair here, but Jesus, it's really hard.
And I think that people have put way too much weight on Billy Mitchell cheating in video games when the real lawsuit the entire time was about these comments about Apollo Legend's death.
Coming to the amount of damages that I will award, Mr. Mitchell seeks $400,000 in general damages, that is, damages for non-economic loss, as it is described in the Defamation Act.
Non-economic loss. That means, like, I can't sleep at night, so give me nearly $500,000. It's a bold strategy, Cotton, and I think it worked.
In my view, that is too high. being too close to the
Okay.
maximum permissible amount.
All right.
This is not one of the most serious cases, although it is at the higher end,
Oh no.
especially given the most damaging imputation that Mr. Mitchell hounded Apollo legend to death and the
Yeah.
extent of publication. Mr. Mitchell's aggravating conduct.
That's pretty aggressive to claim that someone hounded someone else to death. That's pretty intense.
Has been serious and ongoing, including in his evidence at trial and in his publications about this litigation. It merits substantial aggravated damages, and Mr. Mitchell asked for $50,000 in aggravated damages. I have concluded that there should be judgment for Mr. Mitchell in the sum of $300,000 for non-economic loss and $50,000 in aggravated damages.
$350,000.
Reasons?
So the cap is 400. They gave him 300,000 in damages.
He may well have been justified in being ordered to pay more than
From what I understand, it's US dollars.
$50,000 in aggravated damages.
Because they're literally saying dollars. I don't know if Australian currency is called dollars as well. I always assumed it was dollary dues.
But that is the amount sought by Mr. Mitchell, and that is the amount I shall award. In addition, Mr. Jobst should pay interest on those amounts.
Oh my
So it's even more than 350.
God, dude. Oh my God.
Unless I receive submissions for some other order as to interest, it seems to me...
Dude, Karl Jobst is going to owe Billy Mitchell money for the rest of his life.
From other cases, that the appropriate rate and period...
It has to be Australian. One Australian dollar equals 0.63. Okay. Okay, if that's the case, that's a lot more digestible. We're talking closer to, after interest, around $200,000. So he might not be owing him money for the rest of his life, but he'll owe him money for a while. There we go, $218,000. Thank you, Luke.
Period of interest will be 3% per annum from the first date of publication to today. That amounts to a total of $40,400.
It's almost like, no, it's not almost like, it is. This judge is making an example out of Karl Jobst, which is concerning for Australia.
$46.
So it's like, that's $3. Bro, it's another 40,000, dude. We're like 390.
58 cents. Finally, ordinarily an unsuccessful party is ordered to pay the successful party's costs of the proceeding.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Australian dollars are not US dollars. Kangaroo dollars are worth like fucking half of our shit here, dude.
I see no reason why I should not make such an order against Mr. Jobst. However, I shall give the parties an opportunity to seek an alternative costs order, either now or by written submissions to be provided within 14 days, but preferably now. The judgment of the court is therefore 1. Judgment for the plaintiff for damages for non-economic loss in the sum of $300,000 plus interest, subject to either party seeking a different order as to interest upon delivery of this judgment. Or
that's almost what he asked for anyway. Well, no, he asked for 400,000 plus 50,000, so he asked for 450. He's getting 400, but the interest would have pulled that up higher, probably closer to 500,000.
Serving a written submission within 14 days of $34,668.
Like he would have got probably.
Brad DL just nailed it, by the way. Brad DL says, yes, the judge is making an example. The Aussie government is trying to crack down on online speech. This is like the perfect exhibit A for that too. It's almost like they got you. Like, Karl, they got you straight up misleading people, and they're making a fucking example out of it. When in reality, if this was justice being served, the judge would be like, bro, fucking grow a set. You guys, what are we even doing here? Like, just like this high school. What are you doing? How do you prove damages, Billy? What did you do? You did all this cheating and all this. Oh, Jesus, what a shit show. Sure, I guess Billy will win because of Karl pushing the whole "you murdered a guy" thing. Here's $25,000 plus lawyer fees. Like, what are we doing with this near $500,000 dues? Like, it's crazy. The game stage says this will be a good appeal, though it isn't over. Yeah, no, I know.
$500,000 Australian. But I mean, it cannot be lost that everyone says nobody goes through these cross-continental, like other side of the world lawsuits. Billy Mitchell went to Australia and won.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking
Insane.
I've never seen this before.
I've never seen this. I was thinking that too. I'm like, this, you can't even tell me an example of this happening before. Like, who the hell in America sued someone in Australia, flew to Australia and sued them there, and then won nearly $500,000? I'm sure it's happened, but never in the gaming space.
Judgment also for aggravated damages in the sum of $50,000 plus interest of $5,778.08, subject to either party
Nintendo
seeking
is
a
sent
different
to the
order as
chat.
to interest upon delivery of this judgment or by filing and serving a written submission within 14 days. 2, unless either party seeks a different order as to costs, either upon delivery of this judgment or by filing and serving a written submission within 14 days, the defendant pay the plaintiff's costs of this proceeding. I published my reasons together with a short summary of those reasons. Both documents will be publicly available shortly on the Queensland Court's website.
I believe these documents have released, to be clear.
Are there any submissions on questions of interest and costs?
I'm in a position to make submissions on costs today. The plaintiff's position
What?
was firstly cautious by
What?
the
What are they wearing? Is this guy gonna make me my Quaker Oats after he's done with his law degree here? Like, what? What is? What is this?
event. That's implicit in
What the fuck is that guy wearing,
Thank
dude?
you. Like, what is
Holy
this?
shit! What the fuck is that? Is he a priest? What's going on
I thought
there?
he's a Quaker
Well
Oats
said.
guy.
My client would seek costs firstly on the indemnity basis,
No
or
wonder this guy lost. Look at his lawyer.
alternatively on the standard basis. Can I start by taking Your Honour to Section 40 of the Defamation Act, please?
The fuck is that on his neck?
Do you have a copy?
The white bow tie.
Yeah.
That's normal?
I haven't brought it with me.
Yes, I do.
Same as the judge? Well, he's not wearing it as well.
I've picked,
Thank you.
1 or 2 copies.
They have to wear that in court? Is this like when they made the people wear the big fucking wigs during like constitutional times?
Just one. Thank you.
Thank you.
I bet this is Chud Logic's fault. I don't know how, but it's his fault.
Thank you.
He's not even. He's from the slightly different speaking people. All right, let's get back
In
to
particular, Your Honour, Section 42. So
that guy's stuttering and fucking terrified. Is he on the same side? Like, whose side is he on? This is literally kangaroo court. Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
which were in the trial book. at
Dude, I
times
wish Billy
23 and
Mitchell.
24.
Imagine if Billy Mitchell gave like a triumphant speech in court. Like that would literally just put this over the edge. Are we done here? What else?
But I'm happy to deal with that after submissions on cost. That's convenient.
Yes, and what about interest? Do you have any submissions on interest?
No, Your Honour.
All right.
We'd obviously seek interest, but don't cavil with Your Honour's proposal at this stage.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. DeWard.
Oh God! Pause. Billy Mitchell just tweeted nothing like the smell of victory in the evening air. Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck.
Nothing like the smell of victory in the evening air. Master TDS says, smash, check Twitter right now. Is that what you're referring to? Or is there something else?
Fuck, dude. No way. Oh my. Wait, and then the fucking crazy America First freak who was defending Zero the other day wrote, it's hilarious how I was just reading a Reddit thread yesterday and every single person is so convinced that Karl would run away with this from a legal standpoint. But unfortunately for them, Billy always has a plan. Holy shit. Isn't this the fucking schizo America First guy? Where was his dude? Look at this fucking tweet. This is not the only player who attempted to take their own life. The Super Smash Brothers community has driven people to attempt.
We got man, Nicholas Diorio's everywhere with this. Don't shoot the messenger, but Karl Jobst was sued in mid-2021 for the Apollo Legend comment. The first video linked to his retraction. The GoFundMe was created in response to a second lawsuit threat Billy had sent 2 years later that ultimately never material. Oh, shit. Oh, no, Karl. No. No, bro. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. TDS, I'll get to you in 1 second, man. This is crazy. So Nicholas Diorio is alleging, if I understand correctly, and please tell me if I'm wrong here, that Karl Jobst was sued for the Apollo Legends shit in 2021, but then set up a GoFundMe about a lawsuit that never happened and used that money to fund this lawsuit, but told people it was for something else, and then made the videos talking about, oh no. Ooh, whoa. Okay, well, at least he gave this email letting people know. But it's almost like Karl knew that's what was going to happen. But yeah, this is not a great look for Karl. I'm just being honest. Not a great look for Karl. Coming from a guy who's currently being sued for defamation on someone else, and I'm the one that's literally saying that person. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get the. But I'm not doing this. this is a bridge too far for even me. Like, holy shit. Oh man, that is wild. That is a crazy situation. I'm wondering what will happen next, but we'll leave that one there.